Well, where does one start with this? Olympiacos has lost the final of the Greek Cup to Panathinaikos, 79-75. Tough pill to swallow. Deserved loss. Panathinaikos deserved the win. We were poor. We were not good at all. And despite being up with less than 2 minutes to go, with up by 4 points after going on an 8-0 run, we then remained scoreless for the last minute and 45 seconds. And Panathinaikos then went on an 8-0 run themselves and won the game. Yeah, as I said, tricky one to sort of digest, difficult pill to swallow. It was clear that the team was nervous, was stuck from the start. Both offensively and defensively, one of the worst games we've played all season. It's just painful that it's a cup final where a title's on the line and it's against the eternal enemy, the eternal rival. It doesn't necessarily make me feel good about what's to follow, both in the EuroLeague and in the Greek League, because it's highly likely we are going to face Panathinaikos in the EuroLeague Final Four somewhere. Definitely in the Greek League finals. And yeah, this is a little bit worrying because there was a lot, and I don't really know where to start with this. First of all, the obvious one, free throws. 7 from 16. That's 11 missed free throws. I mean, that's crazy. That is crazy to be getting paid that amount of money in a cup final. Professional play. I mean, 7 from 16. My amateur team can do better than that. That's ridiculous. That is actually crazy. I mean, we lost by 4 points and we missed 9 free throws. There you go. There's the game right there. First of all. Second of all, playing with one point guard. Crazy, unbelievable that this is happening. Walkup and Vildoza both injured. Goss played 36 minutes. At some point, I thought Goss was going to do a Jimmy Butler Miami Heat in the finals against Boston Celtics, where the man literally came off for 30 seconds. I've in the Greek league, in Greece, you never, and in Europe in general, you don't tend to see this. You don't tend to see players play this long. And it was, I don't understand why Barzokas didn't play Mitroulon, the only other point guard that he has on the team, because during the rest that he gave to Goss, where he played Fournier at the point, it was obvious Panathinaikos were pressing and they were trying to get the steal, and they did. Fournier didn't really know how to distribute the ball. There's a couple of times where they double teamed him and he managed to get it off to fall for the easy dunks. But apart from that, it was a real struggle when Goss was not on the court. And then Goss playing 36 minutes obviously means he's tired, and then he commits turnovers like he does at the end, and then people go after him. But I don't think Goss had a bad game. I think he was one of our better players personally. I mean, I've got everyone's stats here, but Goss's stats, he had 10 points. 10 points. Is that one assist? I don't actually know. I've only got the points in front of me, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, he didn't have a bad game. He had a couple of plays that he made himself. He made a big three. He had that buzzer beat at the end of the third with the floater to sort of keep us close, to keep us within 4. So I thought he had a decent game. And the fact that he played 36 minutes sort of exposed him at the end to tiredness and turnovers. Someone who I don't think had a good game was Fournier, who outside of being the point guard when he was, which he struggled at, irrespective of that, he didn't really have the best game. He made one big three in the fourth quarter where we were like, oh my God, this is it. We might actually do it now. He had an and one in the fourth. That was a big play where he grabbed the offensive rebound and got the foul off Osman and finished with a very smart layup. But outside of that, he didn't really offer anything offensively, and he struggled, and he made 2 turnovers right at the end. And he tried to sort of win the game on his own and backfired massively. If he had made that sort of, if he made that 1-footer 3 that he tried, so in the fourth quarter, right after he made that crucial one, he had another one where he sort of sidestepped and he pulled the trigger. If that had gone in, I reckon we would have won the game. And it's not his fault that he missed it. It was a tough shot. But yeah, I don't think he had the game that we expect him to have. But Panathinaikos' defense on both him and Vezenkov was brilliant. They were on them. Like, they were like leeches. They played very, very tight. They denied. They made life hell. Kalaitzakis, when he came on, was hounding Fournier. It was insane. That's the sort of defense you want to see your team playing, not your opponents. Vezenkov as well. He had very tough defense on him. Juancho did a really good job on him. And despite Vezenkov getting, 17 points? Yeah, 17 points. Despite getting 17 points, he that wasn't his best game because he had Enan Gomez on him the whole time. Like, Panathinaikos' defense played really well on our two big stars. And this is where Barzokas comes in because it confuses me. The rotation was really, really tight. Peters played very few minutes to give that rest to Vezenkov. Then Goss, as I mentioned already, barely got any rest. Fournier, again, didn't really get much rest. I mean, outside of Fall, Vezenkov, Fournier, Goss, those four played a lot of minutes. Then McKissick got about 20 minutes. Laddie got a couple of minutes. Ladidakis got a couple of minutes in the first quarter. Peters got a couple of minutes. Milutinov got a couple of minutes, but then he was tired and needed a sub. That's a rotation of 8 players. Then you've got Dorsey and Mitro Long that didn't play at all. You've got a couple of youngsters on the bench. I can't remember who was on the bench. I'm missing out. Mensah wasn't in the squad. Walkup and Vildoza were injured. And it's just, that rotation was too tight for my liking. I mean, you have to give Vezenkov more rest. Peters was your best player last year. You have to trust him more. That is ridiculous. Like, how are you not playing Peters more? He showed last year that when Vezenkov isn't at Olympiacos, Peters can do it. So play him more. Let him do what he's meant to be doing. He is an offensive weapon. Second of all, Ladidakis, who is your game changer, your best player in the first quarter. He came on and he turned that game around in the first quarter because we were really struggling in the first couple of minutes. Because Papanikolaou was off it. Ladidakis comes in, incredible. Then in the second half, why is he not playing at all? Why is when Fournier's struggling, Ladidakis not coming on? I'd rather have Ladidakis' energy and passion than Fournier's turnovers. Yes, Ladidakis is going to make mistakes. And don't get me wrong, Fournier is one of my favorite players, and he's been fantastic all season for us. But you got to be able to see that if your big players are not performing, put someone else in. Like, why is the rotation so tight? The same with McKissick. McKissick played 20 minutes, and everyone knows he's my favorite player, but it wasn't his best game. The game was screaming for Ladidakis, who in the first quarter was brilliant. Both Fournier and McKissick should not have had the minutes that they had today, in my opinion. Not that McKissick or Fournier played badly necessarily, but if you just take away some of the minutes and give them to Ladidakis, you could have had maybe something different, that spark. Someone to be on Slukas and just annoy the hell out of him, because Slukas had a great game against us. And then Kendrick Nunn at the end. Kendrick Nunn dominated at the end. He came on and he kept troping those floaters in front of our defenders. I mean, now we're moving on to the next bit. Our big men. Our big men were exposed big time by so many different situations. First of all, Kendrick Nunn sort of shooting over them far too many times for my liking. You're 7 feet tall and you're having Kendrick Nunn shoot over you. That's an issue for me. I think Fall had a good game overall. He had a lot of blocks. He had a double-double, like 10 points, 11 rebounds, something like that. He had like 2 or 3 blocks. He had a couple of great assists. He was like a point guard in the paint. But none shooting on top of you. A couple of big offensive boards at the end for Panathinaikos. And also the fact that you can't post up to save your life is killing me. It's killing me. Like, Panathinaikos didn't have a big man. They stopped playing. Like, Gabriel wasn't playing towards the end. Like, he didn't play crunch time minutes. And we couldn't get score from the inside, from the paint. Like, we are really struggling with these two big men who are brilliant. But it just doesn't work without at least one athletic big. We need something different. And we just don't have that. We were exposed by a team with no center. With no center. And this is... Excuse me. And this is despite Fal having a good game with a double-double. There were moments where he just couldn't post up to save his life. We had no inside game. That was an issue. Another issue was our defense in that second quarter, in that second half. Panathinaikos absolutely drilled it on the 3-pointers. We weren't getting tight enough. We weren't getting close enough. I mean, we just they made 1-3 in the first half, and then I'm trying to look at the stats here, and then 7 in 7 in the second half. Again, I mean, they made 13 out of 14 free throws. Clearly a team that actually practices that. 21 from 32, 2-pointers. But Panathinaikos were very efficient. Very efficient. I mean, let me take that back. Not very efficient, more efficient compared to us. And that's what won them the game. They out-rebounded us, which is crazy. Oh my God, we actually lost the rebounds. 29-27. They actually beat us on the rebounds. They had no big men, and they won the boards. That's crazy. It's a lot to think about. And it's worrying because we really didn't handle that game well at the end. And Bartokas needs to do something about that rotation, because even though in previous years I was, excuse me, I was having issues with the fact that the rotation was so large and everyone was getting the same amount of minutes, despite who was playing well and who wasn't. This year, it's getting far too tight, and he's just not trusting players. Like, Peters has to play more. Ladidzakis today should have played more. Dorsey could have contributed in this game with his shooting. Mitru Long should have played to give and rest to Williams Goss. I'd rather have him for 5 minutes than Fournier at the point, because Fournier's wasted there, and he's getting tired, and he's just not offering enough offensively in that position. But yeah, tough loss, tough pill to swallow. We need to dust ourselves off and move on. We're definitely going to face them in the Greek league. I have a very big feeling that we're going to face them in the final four, in the final, actually, I think. And yeah, it's not looking good if this is the matchup again, because it really showed today. No point guard apart from Goss. We really struggled, and Panathinaikos without a big man exposed us. But yeah, so they need to fix this. They need to fix this ASAP. But yeah, peace out.